In this video, I'll be showing you how to use the strangler pattern to take an AngularJS legacy application and incrementally rewrite it to React. And we're going to do this without stopping and rewriting the whole app, because then you risk building a bridge to nowhere, or building the wrong thing, or building something that never launches. So a good pattern is the strangler pattern, where we incrementally improve the code. So I've got this AngularJS to-do app I just found on GitHub, and here's the code for it. It's got the templates and script tags. It's got this ng repeat right here to repeat the li list items for each to-do, and when you click on the to-dos, it toggles them, and when you ng double-click, it lets you edit the title, and there's a little button to delete it. And so a good way to approach this is to say, okay, let's just replace the rendering of the to-do with the React component. So this Angular app is being served with just script tags, and we're using HTTP server to serve those static files. So to start with, I'm going to do create React app, and I'm going to create a new app called Strangler inside of my legacy application here. Alright, and then it says yarn start, or cd strangler, then yarn start, happy hacking, happy strangling. And let's do, okay, I did npm install, and it was supposed to be yarn install, so let me cancel that. I'll just quickly fix that. Yarn, not that it makes a big difference. And then we'll do yarn start. And starts up the development server. So there's our create React app. And by the way, I recommend playing around with React before attempting this in a real project. So we see out of the Strangler folder here, it has its own public and its own source. In its index.html, I'll just open this side by side with the old app here. You can see all the components are no longer in one file. It's loading everything in through Webpack, and all the components are in their own files. So to start, I'm just going to blow out all these comments here. We don't need them. No one reads instructions anyways. Just live life dangerously, guys. Alright, so basically nothing remarkable here. It's just got a div where we're going to render our root. And let's go ahead and, this would be kind of like a naive approach first, but first of all, we don't want two package JSONs in here. So we'll open the package JSON side by side, and we'll run into some problems here, and I'll show you how to solve them. So let's merge all these dependencies into our new package JSON. So I took the stuff out of our legacy app and moved it into the create React app. Strangler, as I'll refer to it from now on. And so I'm going to delete these other package JSONs. We don't really need them. So you keep the new one, and merge the old into the new, merge the new into the old. It's up to you. I just did it this way. And we're going to go ahead and bring these script tags over to the index.html that create React app created. So there's our CSS. Now let's do the script tags. Let's see, we also need this cloak. Sorry, technical difficulties here. Alright, so we move the cloak over. And I'm assuming you're going to want your actual app's title, so you'd move that over as well. And in this case, it just said AngularJS. In this case, in your app, it would be the name of your app. Here, I'll just put hybrid app. And Angular adds this ng app to the body. That's where it bootstraps. So I'm just going to actually take the whole body and bring it over here. We're just going to merge these two body tags. So here we've got body nested inside a body. Let me just merge that or coalesce that. So we want one body with a one ng app, and then inside of there is the div where our React root is going to go, the ng view where Angular is going to render current view, and then all of our script tags for our Angular template. Let me just fix the indentation here. It's a little bit confusing with all this code in one file. You know, that's one thing where it's going to be a lot better in the React ecosystem. So I'll go ahead and collapse that to make this easier to look at. And I'll clean this up here. So pretty straightforward. We got the body with the ng app, and inside of there we've got our existing app where we've added the root or the div where our React tree is going to render. But these node modules here are not going to work. So this would be the naive approach, is to try to just link these in and say, well, I know, we'll just do ... And I'll show you why that's not going to be viable. So let me just put this side by side here so we can see this better. I'll open up the console here. You see unexpected token. So because we're running like two different web servers, we got create React app, you run yarn start, and then we're running the legacy one here. You run into problems. Like here, for whatever reason, it's serving an HTML page for the JavaScript. Number of things could cause that. You could get CORS issues, which is cross-origin resource sharing, because they're on two different domains. You could move things in one project and break the other project. So what I actually recommend is merging it. So one route we can go down is we could go back to our legacy page. This is our new page with Create React App. I got our legacy page there open. Let me just consolidate all these windows. Bear with me here. So we got our legacy page, and we kind of put all the code back in that index.html. So this was our legacy app. So what we could do is we have two options. First option is we can load React via a script tag into the legacy page. So I'll show you how that would work, but I don't recommend that. The reason being is you can't use JSX. It's not going to be like a normal React environment. You're going to lose out on all the benefits like the live reloading, JSX, so on and so forth. There's more benefits, but that's not the point of this video. So the approach I don't recommend would be to load a script tag here. You could say script source, and this again is in the AngularJS app. We've kind of jumped back to the AngularJS app just to demonstrate this. I could try and load out of the Strangler app, React, and like load our React components in via a script tag. The reason I don't recommend this, guys, is everything's going to be in global. So you lose out on your import statements, your namespacing, live reload. Again, not the point of this video. Just bottom line, I don't recommend it. So we'll copy that line down. We need to bring in React DOM in addition to React. So React-DOM. And that doesn't work here. We can do React and it says React's not defined. So I think we actually need to load that slightly differently when we add the script tag to React. So I'm just searching Google here, kind of jumped ahead. So Dan Abramov has an example gist, and he shows you need to do the UMD, which is the universal module definition, and then React is present on the page. So I'll go ahead and fix the React DOM script tag. And again, I don't recommend this. I can't stress that enough. You should use import statements, and I'll show you that next. So let's just fix the UMD. That's going to be development.js. Okay, so then let's copy this like button component So he just gave like an example of a like button without JSX. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to write React code without JSX. But you could, and it would look like that. So there's our component, and then we need to put a div somewhere on the page where that component is going to be mounted. And that's called your React root. Anywhere you're mounting to a div with like React DOM.render, you're creating what we call a root. You're creating a new tree at that point. So if you have like your whole page is a tree, and normally Angular manages that whole tree, what you could do is replace certain components with React. And if you have multiple components with React, then you have multiple React roots. You couldn't really do this with Angular, or maybe you could, but you probably shouldn't. And so we can do, you like this. You can click on the like button that says you like this. So that's how you load React with a script tag into your legacy application. And you can go that route. You could also write your React component with JSX and then compile it down to JavaScript and load it in with a script tag. But eventually you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to go into your new page. So we're back on the Create React App page. And you're going to want to get rid of these script tags. So let's start stripping these away, strangling them, since we're doing the strangler pattern. So we delete that localhost because we're not going to load it with a script tag. And we're going to open up app.js. We're going to bring these over here and convert these script tags to an import statement. So I'm just going to cut and paste or copy paste the CSS files first. We can get rid of these. Those go away. And then in app.js, I'm going to paste those. And let me delete that angle bracket. And then I'm going to bring these over. To get multiple cursors in VS Code, by the way, it's Apple Shift down or Control Shift down. Gives you multiple cursors, and then you could just hit like home and end and edit multiple lines at once. Vim users will take this for granted. Then I'm going to get multiple cursors and add the word import, space, and then put quotes around these. And I'm going to hit end to jump to the end. You can hit Apple right arrow if you're on a Mac, I believe. So this is telling us we can't import ... You can't reach out above the source directory. Create React App prohibits that. You could go and customize the build process and eject. You could do something called eject from Create React App, but instead we'll just move it into the source folder. So I want a folder called legacy. I'm going to move the legacy code into there. You could also do what they said and use a symlink, but I'm just going to move it. The larger project, you might want to use a symlink or talk to your teammates before you go move the whole project around. So I'm just going to move ... /star, which is all files from one level up, into the legacy folder. And that error just said we can't move strangler into itself, which is fine. It moved all the other files. I might just close some tabs here. So this is telling us it can't find legacy JS app because it's looking in the node modules. So we need to make that a relative import. And it still can't find it. That's because we're in the source folder, so let's actually move the legacy folder into the source folder. So the strangler app is now the code base, and the legacy app is now just a subfolder in here. So we are strangling away the AngularJS here, guys. So it looks like the legacy app has some stuff in there that Create React app doesn't like these globals. We can just click on these errors, and I'll just get rid of this code. It's actually just like the little share button or something like that this demo app had. It's not important to the functionality, so I'll just delete that little thing. And so now we have our legacy app running inside of React. So our body has ng app, Angular is active on the whole page, and then React renders in this root right here. And our legacy code's just in this legacy folder. So let's go ahead and get rid of this boilerplate, this welcome to React stuff. We don't want that in our app. So I just deleted the CSS. And I'm getting a little bit lost here. It's okay to feel confused. It is tricky. So in app.js, we want to get rid of the boilerplate there. We have multiple app.js. So you might want to rename that to like React app, an Angular app, or something more meaningful than just app. Having multiple files called app. So basically now at this point, we have a React app that does nothing and an Angular app on the same page. And if you wanted to, you could start converting your layout components here and strangling away Angular. And that's working from the top down. So for example, you could replace your header. What I recommend is working from bottom up, especially when going from Angular to React. It's a lot easier to load a React component inside of Angular. It's possible to load Angular inside of React, but if you can avoid it, it's better to avoid it. So let's actually do something more meaningful here. So what I want to do is I want to render each to-do, or I want to render a React component right here, where it says here. So I want my React component to be right here. I want a React component called to-do. I want to render it right there. So I'm going to create a new component in the source folder. I'm going to call it to-do.js. And we're going to want to import React. And you could actually just copy this from the app.js. And you could copy this class app. But I'm going to actually do a functional component. So I'm just going to export default function. So my component is just a function. If you guys are new to React, you can create a component with a class or a function. In this case, my component is just a function, and it returns hello world wrapped in a div. Now I want to render that on the page where it says here. So you could just use React DOM.render, but then you'd have to have some additional logic for cleaning up when that Angular component goes away or when you delete it to do. So I'm going to use this library, yarn add React to Angular, like the number 2. And then so what you can do is open your Angular app. So that's in the legacy folder, app.js. and or you could load it here, but it's probably better to just keep it in app.js in one place for your Angular code base, because you are going to be deleting those Angular components as you strangle the legacy code away. So I'm going to do it in app.js, because that's probably going to be the last file to go when you complete your rewrite. So we're going to do import React to Angular, and then we're going to register a component. We're going to register a component with Angular. It's going to be called React to do. And we're going to pass in our React component to do. And then this parameter is an array of props. Just going to delete those for now. And then we need to import the to-do component that we just created in React. So we're going to say import to-do from, and let's see. So it's going to be ... So we're in app.js, and that's in the JS folder. So one level up would put us in legacy, and then 2 levels up would take us out of legacy and put us in source. So ... 2 levels up. Okay, and then whatever our component name is, camel cased in Angular becomes dash cased. It's a little magical. It's one of the things it's not super great about Angular is if you like leave out the dash, it just doesn't work. So you're still dealing with Angular here. If this doesn't work, don't blame React. Try to fix your component from camel casing to whatever it's called that Angular uses, and the component should show up. So we get hello world here. And you can pass in props. So in this case, we're going to take in the to-do. And I'm going to replace hello world with that to-do. So I'm going to do json.stringify. In Angular, it automatically stringifies if you try to output an object. In React, you have to explicitly do json.stringify. So you see here, it's not showing our prop. That's because React to Angular is going to check for prop types. So I'll just put the word title here to show the component does show up on the page, but it's just not receiving the prop. So we need to fill in this array right here, would be one way to do it. So I'll show you that first. You put a string called to do, which is the name of your prop, and then it knows to plumb that prop through. I don't recommend doing it that way. I recommend doing it with prop types. And the reason why is because prop types will take roughly the same amount of work, but you get extra benefits like automatic documentation and other libraries and tools will also be able to introspect or look at this component and see what prop types it takes. So rather than just telling Angular to React, we're going to put those prop types on the component, and then both Angular to React and any other tool out there can look at the prop types. So we're going to give our component a variable const to do equals, and then below that we're going to do to do.proptypes, and it's going to be an object. And then we're going to have a to do prop. That's going to be proptypes.object. And you could say object of and define the shape of that object, but I'll just say object. And then I'm going to put the export default back in there. And our to-do comes in. Without the prop types, it would not, because the tool, Angular to React, the tool doesn't know which props exist. So I'm just going to show just the title here. to-do.title. And we have the title twice. So a naive approach would be to try to take these directives, like ng on double click, and put that on the React component. This is not going to work. You can't mix and match Angular and React on the same element. They just don't get along. Like React will try to render, and then Angular will go render, and you're going to have all sorts of bugs. So that doesn't work. But what you can do is nest a React component inside of an Angular component, or vice versa. And that's the way I recommend doing it. So you're not going to be able to share the directive and the React component on the same element, but what you can do is put that React component inside of the element that has the directive. So there we go, React is rendering the title. But as you see, when we edited the to-do, React did not react to those changes. And if we output to-do.title in Angular right here, and that's actually double curly braces, it gets confusing jumping between frameworks. You can see Angular did react. Angular updated, but React did not. And that's because Angular uses deep equality checking, or what's it called? Change detection. For its change detection, it uses deep equality. React uses shallow equality, and that's why React is faster, or one of the reasons React is faster. So the easiest way around that is to just pass in the actual title instead of the object, because strings are immutable that will get picked up by shallow equality detection. So that's one thing to be aware of. And then we can erase this Angular binding, and only React will show the title. So there we have it, a React component integrated into our Angular app, and React is strangling the Angular component. And that's how you guys can incrementally rewrite your apps using the strangler pattern. So React to Angular creates a new Angular component by wrapping our React component. And there's a lot more to this, like using the context API and bringing in Redux. And so if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe, comment, tell me what you liked, and I'll do more videos. I could do more of moving from Angular to React. I could do moving from Vue to Angular. Let me know what you guys would like to see. And once again, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. And that's it for my video about using the strangler pattern to incrementally rewrite from AngularJS to React.